Igorot People by Cindy McDougall. I traveled around the world. I wanted to see a lot of different places. And I went to the Philippines and thought it was very interesting. Their culture is very different. And they have many different islands there. Three of them, which the first one is Luzon. It's a big city. And many Americans go and visit that city. And then the two other islands are kind of similar to each other. In the first island, the culture is very different. Their technology is different and everything. And the people there are called Igorots. And like I said, it's very different. The clothing is very different. The men use green strings to cover their front and their back, their private areas. And they have cigarettes that they pack themselves, and these hats that they wear that tie down around their chin. And they have some sort of shawl, and they don't wear any shoes. And they walk on hard rocks. And the women have some sort of cover to cover their bottom side. And they use a string to tie it. And they have a little shirt. And when it's cold, they also wear a shawl. And they have long hair. And the men typically have short hair, kind of like bowl haircuts. And they use spears and bow and arrows to kill their food, to cook it. And their homes are interesting too. Their houses typically are one room, and there's no levels, there's just one. And they have ladders to get onto the top. And they protect their food from the rats from getting in and eating it. And the houses do depend on the family and the size of the family and their children. And it's the children's responsibility to cook. And the parents will go out to the farm and do the farming and get the food. And they typically eat rice for every meal of the day. And they have these fields that are grown with the water, lines and lines of water, and they have mountains in that area too. And I thought, wow. 3,000 years ago, this place, the mountains and everything must have looked very different. They had ground out the mountains now to make it sort of looked like steps. And this was their culture. And these steps that they had carved out went for 2,000 miles. And they were ginormous. And I looked at them and they were just so beautiful, and they were green. And you can go up them, and when you look down, it's just an amazing sight. You see acres full of green grass and plants that are starting to grow. It's a very beautiful sight. So you can explain it as much as you want, but to actually see the picture and see how wonderful it is, you really have to go there yourself.